This is brilliant.
I never thought that swapping city life for the farm could be so challenging. I've had to kill my own animals for the first time.
This is fairly ordinary.
Learned to milk by trial and error.
You've got to be quick.
And worst of all, my productive little house garden decimated by possums. My name is Matthew Evans. I was Sydney's most feared food critic. Now, I've given up city life and moved here to country Tasmania. I've always dreamed of producing my own food so I can know and trust what I eat. The only problem is, I don't know how to chop wood, I don't know anything about growing plants, and I have absolutely no idea about rearing animals. But I do know how to eat. Everything else I'll have to learn from scratch. How hard can it be? Through the long Tassie winter, it sometimes felt like I'd never see the sun again. But with the first rays of spring sunshine, the blossoms are out and new life is everywhere. And most exciting of all, it looks like my ewes are pregnant. Tonight, one of them's behaving oddly, and I think she's about to give birth.
I reckon that looks pretty bloody close. She seems to have had a couple of contractions. She's lying down. I guess when the contractions hit, it seems to be going fairly well. I'm such an expert on these things.
But nature seems to be doing just fine without me.
Whoa! Hey! Look, it's moving already. It's lifting its head. Holy moly! Look at that! Oh, and look, she's licking it. Oh. She's cleaning it up straight away. Hey! There you go. Little lamb's up on all fours, trying to find mother's teat. It's so close. Mum keeps moving though. I'm not sure why. Oh, little sweetheart. There we go. I think the lamb finally got to suckle. I'm amazed how long it's taken, considering how quickly it was up. Little tails go on like crazy. I think the two of them are getting to know each other, and lamb's trying to learn how to get the milk, and the mother's learning to give it. I reckon they'll have it sorted by tomorrow morning. I might leave them to it.
The next morning, mother and lamb are doing just fine.
It's a beautiful thing to see something like this happen.
But just up the hill, there's another surprise.
In the shade of the trees over there, looks like a lamb underneath another ewe. Oh, she's still cleaning it.
Ah, how lovely. 2 new lambs in one night. How about that? A blustery Sunday later, and a much less happy occasion.
Pig, pig, pig. Hello, girls. Hello. Hello. It's been close to a year since I've been on the farm, and these were the first animals I got, first livestock I got anyway. When you've reared something from quite small and patted it every day and fed it every day, you become extraordinarily attached. So for me, it's quite a sad day. It's taken me 2 months to talk myself into taking them to the abattoir. But it has to be done. That's what farming is, if you're going to eat meat.
Ross, my market store partner, is here to give me a hand loading them up.
Pig, pig, pig. Up you go, girl. We'll get going.
And luckily, the abattoir is just up the road, which keeps the stress of transporting them to a minimum. One One of the first successes on the farm was my little veggie garden. There's nothing more satisfying than eating food that you've grown yourself. But the good times didn't last long.
One of the first things I did when I got to the farm was actually work on the garden. I was so excited. Managed to get quite a few things in and had some success, but unfortunately the possums came through and decimated it. They ate just about everything. The only things that survived really are broad beans and some garlic and a couple of leeks. Everything else has pretty much been chewed. I think the problem is this netting. It's actually started to wear out maybe. There's a hole in the corner. And what happens is the possums must be able to get in, even though I plug all the holes. So there's actually a bloke moved down from Sydney a couple of years before I did, who has a farm up north, and he's apparently got this amazing vegetable garden that's quite well protected. So I might see if I can get some advice off him. I don't fancy just eating broad beans for the whole year. So finally getting around to fixing up that veggie garden.
Hope we got this round the right way. It's a pity because we've almost had it.
I'm going to get chicken wine next time. We'd have got that right.
Just outside of Lachlan, in the Derwent Valley, is the Agrarian Kitchen. And it's here that I'm hoping to find the voice of experience.
Hello.
G'day, Matt.
How you going?
Rodney Dunn is a former food writer, like me. And he and his wife, Severine Demane, moved to Tasmania a couple of years before I did, to start a cooking school, with a difference.
Is it your garden up there?
That's the garden, yeah.
All the ingredients are grown right here, about as local as you can get.
It's amazing what you've done.
You want to show Matt the garden? Shall we go and put our boots on?
I'm hoping I can learn from their experience and have a more successful garden of my own next year.
When we had Tristan, we started thinking about wanting to move away from the city and having a better lifestyle and growing our own produce and knowing what we were eating. And, you know, lettuce, I'd never had lettuce that was crunchy. Like, you'd buy it, you know, in the supermarket in Sydney or at the grocer, and it's just been travelling so far to get to that, to you, and it wasn't crunchy, and we'd had lettuce here, and I said to Rod, well, you know, is this a special variety of lettuce? And he's like, no, it's just because it's from the garden, straight,
It's just straight.
crunchy.
It's fresh.
I'll show you, this is the main garden.
Big
About
space.
500 square metres. We've started our potatoes in here. So we've got 14 varieties this year, which is good.
All the way along, potatoes.
All the way along, yep. Right down the end, we've got our remains of autumn purple sprouting broccoli. So they were like this big when I put them in, and then they just grow into the bush. And then come this time of year, spring, they obviously want to flower, which is this part you're eating here.
Almost
And
looks like broccoli, doesn't it?
Yeah, you just keep chopping it off.
So you get used to broccoli that's tight-headed and firm, and this is the opposite. It's loose and...
Yeah, it's loose and it's easy to grow.
But you got it punted or
Seed.
Seed from...
Lost seed.
Lost seed, yeah.
Rodney only plants heirloom seeds, old varieties that you can harvest seeds from, unlike the modern hybrids used for industrial agriculture.
The thing you're getting with an heirloom seed is sort of this massive seed bank of different varieties, shapes, flavours, things that ripen at different times. So it's good because that seed's actually adapted to this climate, this area. Yeah, I mean, every area is slightly different, and yours will be slightly different too, so you can just save your seeds, and
whatever grows well is
you'll
the stuff you
slowly
get the
get
seed
better
from.
and better each time you grow it.
Yeah. This is brilliant. Like, I'm so inspired seeing how your garden's coming together, with all these things popping out of the earth. But what I'm worried about is if I go off and do this and plant a whole bunch of stuff, that as soon as it pokes its head up, the possums will get a whiff of it and they'll be straight in, which is what happened last time.
Right.
So.
Well, what you need, I need to show you what I've done and give you a few ideas of what you could do.
Sure.
So what we've done here is this heavy-duty netting, rabbit netting.
Yep.
So we've put that on the inside. Stepped out from that, you can see the electrics, and there's a strand of 4.
Yeah,
and then right back on top of the wire, there's a single strand. So if a possum does happen to get up the back here and climbs up here, it hits this wire and hopefully discourages it.
Then I've got trees sort of close. I mean, even my chicken coop's probably only about this far from where the veggie garden is at the moment. So I reckon because they're such good climbers, there's a good chance they might be able to get over the top.
It sounds like with the problems you have with the trees overhanging is that you'll need to have it fully enclosed.
The garden's enclosed, but the netting I've got is really fine, and I think it's just too weak or it's too old.
You'll just need something a bit stronger, so something a bit heavy, more heavy duty, like this netting.
Yep.
Or you could use the fish nets, old fishing nets, or the commercial orchard netting, which is
That's
quite
a good
good
idea.
and strong and supposed to keep all those things out.
Got an awful lot of work to do.
Yeah, you better get cracking on that.
Worth it, hopefully,
Well,
in the end.
be worth it if you can get some veggies instead of the possums.
Yeah, that's what I want this time. Back on the farm, it's time to put Rodney's advice to work and deal with my possum problem. So, finally getting around to fixing up that veggie garden. I've got a few bits and pieces of timber, and I've got Cole, who helped me with the fencing at the start of the year, coming and give me a hand. So, with any luck, we'll get it sorted. It was, I think, at one point maybe possum-proof, but only sort of feebly. But this has all started to rip on the corners. I also want to enclose as a far end bit. I put some old reed apples in there.
Well, if we just put a line of poles and brace them up the top with a bit of timber.
After ripping down the old net, well past its best. Getting rid of a few pent-up frustrations on this netting. We've got a bunch of poles, which will need a bunch of holes. If you look behind you, you'll be able to see exactly where that pipe comes out. Shit.
Matthew?
Straight into it. Right through the irrigation pipe.
Oh. That's not bad, actually.
Really in the way.
Can you reach it? How are you at your end?
Yeah. We're cobbling together a wooden frame to support my new netting. Following Rodney's advice, I got tougher netting. This offcut from commercial orchard netting should be just big enough to do the whole job. Well, we've got our structure built for the net, and we're just trying to work out how to get it across this, which is really quite a large span. So we're thinking if we do the short edge and then start rolling it across, which is sort of downhill, which won't help us at all, but, you know, I guess there's always the chance it might. Getting it over the top is a bit of a wrestle. And I really didn't want to get it this far
Hope we got this round the right way.
before realising we've got it the wrong way around. Chicken wire next time, we'd have got that right.
Doing it.
But after a bit of measuring up, it looks like it is the right way after all, and it just needs to be stretched taut.
Not a problem.
Hey,
Not a problem.
how does that feel?
Well, we can tighten this pretty well. This will be pretty... Once you tighten it down, it won't look too bad at all.
Look at that.
So all we've got to do now is tie it off.
I can't believe we got this whole thing actually done in a day. I never believed it when you said we might.
Well, only because we used this netting.
No, I love this. This is great.
And this is holding up straight.
Yeah, I hope it works.
Well, that's another thing.
Hell, I know. I
Go
guess.
out one night and see what the possums are doing on it. As long as they don't break it. I don't think they will. You'll be able to plant in peace now.
Get through a summer and get everything I planted for myself, which would be a nice change. Now that I'm all good and possum-proof, I can finally plant my spring garden. Ronnie suggested using non-hybrid heirloom seeds, which will adapt to my local conditions. For a while they were hard to find, but recently they've been getting more popular, and now you can even get them from a lot of local hardware stores. Look at that, what a nice setup. And these are actually old varieties, they're not hybrids, so you can actually use them year after year and get your own seeds. And look at the selection. These are all beams, just in this, this one section. Scarlet Emperor. I've heard of those, I want to get those. Whoa. The good thing about buying local seeds, no matter where you live, if you can buy local seeds, they're usually tolerant of whatever the conditions are in the area. Oh, look at this. Cape gooseberry. So this is a beautiful thing. It's a really golden coloured fruit, and it gets this sort of a calyx, a sort of papery outside on it. It's really stunning to look at. It's amazing to eat. It's almost like, it's really sour and sweet at the same time. Great. Oh, tomatoes.
Here they are. So, because these are an heirloom variety, I don't actually know this one, but it means that I can actually keep the seeds and propagate them year after year. So I've got 2 of those. Oh, I might grab some broccoli. Ooh, a bit of spinach. That'll be good. What's this one? Rainbow chard. Now I've got this fantastic possum-proof net. I'm just going to get rid of a few weeds and see if I can get my spring and summer garden planted. Runner bean. Supposed to be able to get 2 seasons out of them. How cool's that? Looks like something you should boil up and eat rather than plant. Beans. Tolerates heat, drought and cool nights. Radicchio, I reckon. They're like the size of a grain of sand. You mix them in with a handful of dirt so they sort of spread through, and then you can just spread the dirt more evenly than you can sort of 12 seeds or something. Look at the seeds. I'm only planting small amounts of everything. See what works, go from there. Okay. One of the main reasons you'll find home gardeners getting into old varieties, heirloom varieties, is because then they can get stuff with flavour, with real quality, with taste, the things that have been bred out. If you want to see a vegetable that we've managed to successfully breed all the flavour out of, it's the tomato. Even those fancy, expensive things that they call truss tomatoes or vine ripened don't taste like homegrown. And anyone who's grown them knows that you don't actually ripen them on the vine. Great marketing ploy though. Well, that's it. Tomatoes are in. Just give them a bit more water. Hopefully, big fat tomatoes off here, and this net will keep the possums out.
Next, I throw a little outdoor get-together to celebrate my first year on the land.
That smells incredible, Rossi.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
The farm is covered in spring blossom, and my bees have been busy transforming it into honey. Eve, the French apiarist, is here to show me how to extract it from the hive.
There's a few buzzing around us, but these ones seem quite calm.
It's surprisingly simple. The honey-heavy frames are dropped into this manual centrifuge, and the liquid gold just spins off. Most commercial honey is heat treated, which kills nutrients and flavour. But I'm getting delicious raw honey.
It looks amazing. So it's got all this, a few little bits in it. It's quite cloudy, apparently from air bubbles that we've trapped in it as we spun it. And we're standing up here with my head next to the top of the extractor. It smells amazing.
With my first year on the land coming to an end, I want to throw a little party to thank some of the people who have helped me out.
Hey, welcome.
As always, my best mates, Nick and Ross, are here to help. We're spit roasting a loin from one of my pigs.
Garlic and rosemary from the garden, and a little bit of fennel seed.
We'll try the cheese I made with Nick, and we'll crack open the prosciutto I made shortly after I first arrived, and see if it's ready. The first guests to arrive are Clive Crosley and Lynn Upton, who helped me make pear and apple cider some 6 months back.
Hey.
I want to serve it with lunch, but I'd love to see what they think of it first.
The best way to test it?
Only way, really.
Thank you.
Would that get the Lynn and Clive stamp of approval for a pear
It's
cider?
quite delicious.
The other guests are hot on their heels. There's Hristina, who showed me the Serbian way to use all of a pig, Whiskey Man Bill Lark, who took us on a trout fishing adventure in the Highlands, and Hans and Esther, whose herd of milking goats gave me goat's milk ice cream, my first commercial success.
Just head for the white tablecloth, head to those blue flowers, and you'll find your way, weave your way around through there.
Time to join my guests in the paddock.
Nice to see you. Glad you could make it.
Did you see what I was getting excited about?
Oh, crackle. Hoping. That's way too much meat.
It's enough to make a former vegetarian's mouth water. And as the cider starts to flow, we'd better dish up some food before the mob gets restless.
Oh, yay, food.
The pork is ready, just in time really.
That smells incredible, Rossi.
You want a bit of crack?
Yes, please.
There you go.
I just wanted to say a really big thank you to everybody here, because you've all helped me, and you've helped, you know, in many instances, Ross and Nick and I, with what we're trying to do in Tasmania, which is, you know, embrace what's here, try to produce things ourselves, and we get exposed to artisan produce and where things are, how things are done properly and grown properly and reared properly. Bit of pud. So some rhubarb from the garden and some not from the garden because I didn't have enough. Honey from just there and cream from there. And the only thing is, because we're this close to the hive and it smells like honey, apparently, eat fast. Is it?
Yeah, good for you.
Because once they smell the honey, they'll be all over you.
That's sensational. What do you think of the prosciutto? Good. Yeah, it's good.
A couple of cheese.
Time's come.
Beautiful. It's creamy. All right. Thank
You're
you.
a cheesemaker now.
I am.
A sweet finish to my first year on the land, and a good omen for those to come. As contented as I am, the farm's been feeling a little empty. It just doesn't feel right without pigs.
Whew. I had so much success with the first pigs and I fell so much in love with them, I've decided to double the numbers. 2 for eating and 2 for breeding from. So, all girls. Oh, you're a heavy one. Oh. Hey, Mags. Maggie seems to be a bit jealous. Just have almighty moo. Hey, you're fat. I've got food. It's really funny, ever since the old pigs went, I've actually driven past this paddock every day and half expected to see them. It was part of the joy of coming up the road and getting home was seeing the pigs playing or pigs eating or pigs wallowing, whatever they do. Look at those 4 little curly tails wandering up there. Forgotten how cute the young ones are. Feels like the place isn't right without them. Look, it's been a really hard year. There's a lot of times when you actually feel like it's too hard, way harder than I thought it would be. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's actually been work I enjoyed. And now with spring, everything, you know, leaping out of the ground, new animals, you know, got lambs, got the new pigs, and a whole bunch of plants in the ground. I'm ready to do it all over again. Hey.